I feel like everyone's talking about the skin barrier, but what does that actually mean and why is the skin barrier important? Today, we're going to be discussing all of that, as well as ways to support and optimize your skin barrier. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Dr. Sam Ellis, and I'm a board-certified medical and cosmetic dermatologist in Northern California. I'm here to help you understand your skin and find products that work for you. So if that sounds good, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget, subscribe to the channel. This video includes a partnership with Necessaire, and I'll be discussing why I think their body cream may be a great addition to your skincare routine to support your skin barrier. If you have followed me on Instagram for any amount of time, you know that I am a huge fan of Necessaire, and I have used their body products for years, and I've really been waiting for them to come out with like a super rich body cream, and that's exactly what this is. It feels very luxurious. It's really meant for dry skin, for sensitive skin, for mature skin, and it just gives you all of the moisturization and hydration that you could hope for. I mean, when you look at like the skin barrier support ingredients in this cream, she's stacked. It's got 5 different ceramides in it. It has colloidal oatmeal, it has glycerin, it has niacinamide, it has linoleic acid. I think because this cream is so thick and moisturizing, you absolutely can get away with just applying it once a day. It does not need to be a twice a day thing. You could apply it to your entire body, or you could really focus it on areas where you feel like your skin barrier is the most compromised, where you have intense dryness or your skin is feeling particularly sensitive. I also think it's helpful to apply it like right after the shower or the bath when your skin is still a little bit warm, because with thicker body creams, you almost want them to like melt down a little bit, and that heat coming off your skin combined with that thick, rich cream just gives the best application experience, in my opinion. This body cream is also part of Necessaire's body treatment set, so if you wanted to try some other Necessaire products in addition to the body cream, you could also get this set, which has their body serum, which is a lighter weight hyaluronic acid based body serum, as well as their neck serum, which is a peptide based serum to help rejuvenate the neck. If you purchased all the products that are in that set individually, I think it would turn out to be about $150, but if you get them within the set, it's $110. And then if you use my promo code Ellis10, you get an additional 10% off of that, which brings the total of the set to $99. Also, if you're interested in trying other Necessaire products, my code Ellis10 will get you 10% off your entire purchase off of the Necessaire website. So let's start off with talking a little bit about what is the skin barrier, because you might be thinking, well, skin is obviously a barrier. It separates the outside world from your internal body. But when we are talking about the skin barrier, we're actually referring to the very top layer of skin cells called the stratum corneum. And as a little reminder about skin anatomy, the skin is comprised of multiple layers of skin cells, and the outermost component of your skin is called the epidermis. And the epidermis itself is split into many layers, with the outermost being the stratum corneum. You can think of that like the saran wrap on your skin. It's what divides the external world from the rest of your skin. And if we zoom in even further and look just at the stratum corneum, what we'll see is the fact that the stratum corneum itself is made up of several layers of dead skin cells. It typically is between 10 and 20 cell layers thick. And these dead skin cells that comprise the stratum corneum aren't just floating there, they are held together by fats or lipids that are secreted by cells deeper in your skin. A lot of people will think of this like a brick wall, where the bricks are the dead skin cells and then the fat are the mortar holding those dead skin cells together or holding those bricks together. When you have an intact, fully functioning skin barrier, it should keep bad things out and good things in. Typically, we use our skin barrier to prevent something called transepidermal water loss, or the loss of water through the skin surface. And we use it to protect us from things like bacteria, viruses, allergens, and irritants that exist in our external world. A damaged or disrupted skin barrier can look and feel like different things on different people, but oftentimes people will say, oh, my skin feels sensitive, it's itchy, it's burning, it's stinging, or it looks dry, red, flaky, or some combination of all of those. Something important to note is that when your skin barrier isn't functioning fully, things that normally wouldn't sting or burn your skin will. So products that you've been using with no problem suddenly might start to cause you problems. Even things like water can start to sting, and that's a sign that your skin barrier maybe needs a little bit of help. And based on what I told you earlier earlier about the skin barrier serving a protective role, if your skin barrier is damaged, it increases your risk of infections, it increases your risk of inflammation due to exposure to allergens or irritants in your environment, and it can cause flaring of your chronic skin issues like eczema or rosacea. So what damages your skin barrier? I think it's so important to be aware of these things because you can do all of the supportive skincare that you want, but if you keep damaging the skin barrier, you're never going to make significant progress. So number one is certain skincare products. And I think some of us have done this to ourselves before where we've over exfoliated. And when you're exfoliating, the goal really is to remove some of that stratum corneum, that outer dead skin cell layer. But I feel like some people think you're supposed to remove all of it, like you're not supposed to have any dead skin cells on the surface of your skin. And if that's the case, you've completely stripped your skin barrier and you no longer have any type of protection. And exfoliants come in a few flavors. Of course, you have your chemical exfoliants, things like alpha hydroxy acids, such as glycolic acid, lactic acid, mandelic acid. And some people might go, okay, well, people say lactic acid and mandelic acid are gentle exfoliants. It does not matter. If you're struggling with your skin barrier, you cannot have any type of chemical exfoliation in your routine for a time. It doesn't mean you can't come back to those, but if you're struggling with the skin barrier, the exfoliation's gotta go. Of course, there are other chemical exfoliants to think about, like salicylic acid, fruit enzymes can exfoliate your skin, and of course, physical exfoliation, whether that's in the form of a scrub, a washcloth, or just harsh rubbing when you're drying your face with a towel. Those are all things that can damage your skin barrier. Within the category of skincare that can potentially harm your skin barrier, things like retinoids can do it, vitamin C, kojic acid, as well as harsh cleansers. So if you're struggling with your skin barrier, basically anything that has an active ingredient, something that's physiologically trying to change something about your skin, has the potential to temporarily disrupt your skin barrier. The environment can also play a significant role in skin barrier health. Sun exposure, intense heat or cold, wind, very low or very high humidity, pollution, these are all things that can negatively impact your skin barrier health. Certain inflammatory skin conditions can also weaken or negatively impact the skin barrier. So this includes things like eczema or atopic dermatitis, rosacea, psoriasis. There's also a category of skin conditions called ichthyoses, and often patients who suffer from this have very dry, flaky appearing skin. And that's because some component of their skin barrier, whether it's the corneocyte, that dead skin cell, or the lipids, which help hold those dead skin cells together, aren't functioning properly. Aging, go figure, also impacts our skin barrier. And as we get older, our ability to make some of the fatty components that support our skin barrier, like ceramides, for example, goes down. And so mature skin is often more fragile. This is why older patients will often start to notice that their skin feels dry or is more itchy. And even if they've never needed to use lotion or body moisturizer in the past, they now need that extra skin barrier support to make their skin look and feel good. Now, with all of that background, we can delve into how to repair your skin barrier if you've damaged it, or to support your skin barrier so that it doesn't get damaged moving forward. Your skin is a very efficient organ, and because it serves such an important role in your livelihood, it has some really great regenerative mechanisms to help heal itself. And most people can get their skin barrier repaired in as little as 3 days, but it can take up to a couple of weeks depending on what state your skin barrier is in when you start moving towards repair. Now, I know this is obvious, but I have to say it. If you are working to repair your skin barrier, you need to remove all potential irritants from your skincare routine. Sometimes I'll see patients in my clinic and they're like, Dr. Ellis, I cannot get my skin to feel good. I took out all of my chemical exfoliants. What's wrong? But then when I look at the rest of their routine, they still have vitamin C, they're still using a retinol, they're still using a harsh cleanser or a scrub. And the reality is, if you're constantly beating down your skin barrier, even a tiny bit, it's not going to be able to fully recover. If you want the fastest recovery possible with the highest chance of success, you need to remove everything and kind of go down to what I call a bland routine. But a bland routine is not a boring routine. It just means we've shifted our priorities towards skin support. And that means focusing on things that hydrate, moisturize, and protect the skin. And I talk to my patients about this all the time. Skin health, which includes a healthy skin barrier, should be the #1 priority when taking care of your skin. And then we can move towards anti-aging, brightening, glowing, correcting. But skin health comes first. And there are definitely certain ingredients that I look for in my skincare products to kind of give me a clue that they're going to help with skin barrier health. For example, ceramides. So 50% of the lipid matrix that comprises our skin barrier is made up of ceramides, and they are naturally made by our skin cells, but they can also be generated synthetically for use in skincare products. And like I mentioned earlier in the video, as we age, we don't make ceramides as readily, so supplementing the natural ceramides that we make with ceramides in skincare can really help support our skin barrier. Another ingredient I look for, and it's gained a ton of popularity in the last decade, is niacinamide. Niacinamide is a form of vitamin B3. It can act as an antioxidant in the skin, and it can help us upregulate our own production of ceramides. And as we just discussed, ceramides are great for skin barrier support. While we're in the category of vitamin-based skincare ingredients that can help your skin barrier, I also want to mention panthenol. Panthenol is a precursor to pantothenic acid, also known as vitamin B5. It's been shown to hydrate the skin and to reduce transepidermal water loss. And remember, an intact skin barrier is not just about keeping the bad things out, it's about keeping the good stuff like water in. Another great ingredient that helps prevent transepidermal water loss is petrolatum, the stuff you find in Vaseline. If you've ever used just pure Vaseline or petrolatum, you know it has a very greasy, thick, occlusive texture, which a lot of times is what we want, but it also can be incorporated as one of many ingredients in a more elegant formulation, if you will, so that it's more enjoyable to use, but still has a lot of those protective, occlusive properties. I feel like anytime I bring up petrolatum, whether it's in clinic or through a social media channel, people ask, well, is petrolatum safe? Is it okay to use? And my short answer is yes, 100%, but the details of that we can save for another video. Other skincare ingredients I think about are squalane and dimethicone. These serve as both emollients as well as occlusive, so they help smooth and soothe the skin as well as prevent transepidermal water loss. I also think humectant ingredients can be great for the skin barrier, so things like hyaluronic acid and glycerin that pull water to the skin's surface can help keep the skin hydrated and healthy. I also feel like I should give a little shout out to plant oils, because there are some people who want to know if they can just use a straight up 100% plant oil on their skin to help with moisturization and to help support the skin barrier. And there is some good data that some plant oils are helpful for this. Personally, plant oils on their own are not my favorite way to support the skin barrier, but if someone is like steadfast, I'm using oil only, then I usually recommend sunflower seed oil, argan oil, jojoba seed oil, peanut oil or coconut oil, but also oat oil, borage oil, those also can be helpful for the skin barrier. And then lastly, you can look for ingredients that help reduce inflammation. So these are going to be things like antioxidants, Centella asiatica, also known as cica. Colloidal oatmeal is another good example of an ingredient that's proven to help the skin barrier by reducing inflammation and irritation. So now you know what to keep an eye out for. Let's do some product recommendations, shall we? First is the CeraVe PM Facial Moisturizing Lotion. I feel like this is a cult favorite. It's a great facial moisturizer. You could use it in the morning under sunscreen, or in the evening over the top of your other skincare products, or as the only skincare product that you use that night after you cleanse your face. This has hyaluronic acid and niacinamide and ceramide, so all things that help support a stronger, healthier skin barrier. This is one of the moisturizers I recommend to like my teenager patients who maybe are starting in on an acne skincare journey and are looking for a nighttime moisturizer. This works really well. I also feel like I have to give a shout out to the SkinCeuticals Triple Lipid Restore 242 moisturizer. This moisturizer has such a following. It is beloved by so many people, including many of my patients. The 242 on the label is in reference to the concentration of certain moisturizing and skin reparative ingredients in there. So it's 2% ceramides, 4% cholesterol, 2% fatty acids, which we know all help support the skin barrier. I think this cream is ideal for people who have really dry or mature skin, but don't have particularly sensitive skin. The reason for that is this does have some plant essential oils in it. And for me, for example, I don't tolerate those very well, so this is why I don't use this product, but so many people love it that I thought it was worth mentioning. And then the last product I'll mention is the Purito Dermide Relief Barrier Moisturizer. I think this is a great facial moisturizer for sensitive skin. A few months ago, I filmed a skin barrier support routine for my YouTube channel, so you can go watch that if you want to, but this is the cream that I used in that video. And I like that it has some of the skin barrier support ingredients that I talked about earlier, like panthenol and squalane and a whole complex of ceramides. And actually, some of you purchased it after I talked about it in that video and direct messaged me on Instagram that you really enjoyed it. So I'm always happy when I can recommend products that you haven't heard of yet before that you end up enjoying. And I think that'll be a wrap on this video. Have you ever experienced a sensitized skin barrier? Do you have any tips or things that worked for you? Share them in the comments below. As always, thank you so much for being here and for sharing this channel with your friends and family. It really means so much to me to have your support. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time.